Hey, welcome back to QZ Stories, where ordinary lives collide with unbelievable twists. Tonight's story takes us to a quiet neighborhood where one man's simple project, a storm bunker in his backyard, turns into a full-blown war with the HOA. Midnight knocks, flashing police lights, and a neighbor who would do anything to stay in control. But when the truth comes out, the whole street is left stunned. Let's jump to the story. It started with pounding on my front door at midnight. Not the kind of knock that comes from a friend or a delivery. It was violent, rattling the frame, the type that makes your stomach turn cold. When I opened the door, there she was. Karen from the HOA. Arms crossed, robe half open. Her eyes blazing like she had just caught me committing a crime in the dead of night. She jabbed a finger toward my backyard. "That little concrete hatch you're building? You can't do that. It's illegal." For a second, I thought I misheard her. Illegal? It was a storm shelter, a bunker, my right to build on my own property. But Karen didn't see reason. She saw scandal, control, and the chance to destroy someone who dared to live outside her rules. "Tomorrow," she hissed, "I'm calling the cops, and you'll regret trying to hide whatever it is you're hiding." Her slippers slapped against the pavement as she stormed off. I shut the door, my heart pounding. Prepping wasn't a crime. Having a storm shelter wasn't suspicious. But with Karen, facts didn't matter. She was a self-appointed sheriff of the neighborhood, and now she had a target, me. The bunker wasn't just a project anymore. It was protection. And now it was war. If your neighbor tried to shut down your private bunker, what would you do? Fight back or tear it down? By morning, the whispers had already started. Two neighbors stood at the mailbox, pretending to chat but stealing glances toward my yard like I was hiding nuclear weapons. Karen worked fast. The truth was simple. I wasn't paranoid. I wasn't reckless. I was building a shelter the same way my grandfather once built a root cellar, only stronger, with concrete walls, filtered air, and supplies that could keep my family safe. Tornadoes, power outages, maybe worse. Who knew what tomorrow could bring? But to the HOA, it wasn't about safety. It was about control. Grass height, mailbox color, fence design, they ruled it all. And now, Karen wanted to rule my survival too. I tried reasoning with her once. I showed her the permits, the inspection documents. She didn't even look. She just smirked. "People like you cause panic," she sneered. "We don't want your type here." That night, I checked my cameras. There she was, standing by my fence with a flashlight, snapping pictures like she was gathering evidence for a trial. Her eyes, cold and relentless, made it clear. She wasn't going to stop. The lights of judgment. 3 nights later, it happened. Red and blue lights splashed across my walls. My street glowed like a crime scene. I looked out the window. At least 4 police cruisers lined the street. Neighbors poured onto their lawns, phones raised, whispering, waiting for a spectacle. And right in the middle stood Karen, arms folded, smirking like she'd already won. "This is it," she muttered loud enough for me to hear. "Say goodbye to your bunker." The officers approached. "Sir, we need to speak with you." My pulse raced. Karen told them I was building an illegal weapons cache, that I was preparing for some dangerous, secret plan. Her words were venom, spilling out fast, twisting the truth into something darker. I stood tall, though inside I felt the weight of every eye on me. Would the cops believe her? Would years of planning collapse under Karen's lies? The lead officer glanced at me. "Sir, we'll need to see what you're building." Karen grinned. To her, this was the final nail. The moment I'd be exposed. What she didn't know was, I had already prepared for this. The slow reveal. My hand trembled slightly as I reached for the hatch. I moved slowly, deliberately, letting the silence drag. The entire street leaned in. The cops hovered, hands brushing their belts. Karen licked her lips, hungry for my downfall. The lock clicked. I pulled the door open. The metal creaked, the sound sharp in the night air. Everyone peered inside. Clean concrete walls. Rows of canned food neatly stacked. First aid kits. Water filters. A small generator. Ventilation pipes running smooth and professional. Nothing illegal. Nothing dangerous. Just a FEMA-approved storm shelter built to code. The lead officer stepped inside. His flashlight cut across the shelves. He inspected the walls, the air vents, the permits I had taped on the inside wall. Just in case this day ever came. The silence stretched. Karen's smug smile twitched, faltering. Finally, the officer straightened up. Looks solid. Permits are valid. This is legal. The words echoed like thunder. Karen's collapse. Karen's face went pale, then red. No, this isn't right, she stammered. He's hiding something. He has to be. One of the officers raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, what exactly do you think he's hiding? Because all I see is a well-built shelter. The neighbors murmured. Some even nodded in approval. A few whispered, impressed at the setup. Karen's eyes darted wildly. She stomped her foot. Arrest him. He's a danger to this neighborhood. But the cops weren't buying it. One officer chuckled. Ma'am, the only danger I see is you wasting police resources. Laughter rippled through the crowd. Phones were recording. Karen's power, the iron grip she had over the HOA, was crumbling in real time. Her voice cracked. You're all blind. He's up to something. He bribed you, didn't he? The lead officer sighed. Ma'am, calm down, or we'll have to escort you back inside. Her mouth fell open. For the first time, Karen realized she was the one standing on trial. The crowd's smirks cut deeper than any punishment. She turned, screaming about conspiracies, lawsuits, and betrayal. But no one listened anymore. After the storm, that night, I sat inside my bunker, the silence sweeter than ever. For years, Karen ruled by fear, by gossip, by control. But in one night, her empire shattered. In the days that followed, something changed. Neighbors who once avoided me now nodded with respect. A few even asked questions about building their own shelters. Others laughed quietly whenever Karen's name came up. As for Karen, she disappeared behind her curtains, humiliated. Her voice gone silent after her public meltdown. The videos of her tantrum spread across the block like wildfire. She had wanted control. She wanted to make an example out of me. Instead, she became the example. The bunker wasn't just concrete and supplies anymore. It was proof that standing your ground literally pays off. Because when the storm comes, whether it's wind,